What is up, everybody? I'm Chuck Jerome. This is Casually Uncomfortable News Edition. And yeah, we're going to get right into it. We're not going to play around. We got news to talk about. So let's do it.
It's time to get casually uncomfortable. News Edition with your host, Chuck Jerome. Viewer discretion is advised.
All right, so this first article is from France. There's a marine park out that way, and they have a couple of orcas that are still in the tanks. They are still in captivity. This place closed in January. In April, someone said, "Hey, there was a proposal for them to get the orcas out of there," and then that fell through. So the fucking orcas are still in this exhibit in captivity, and the tanks and everything are getting nasty. And this guy, he was investigating it with a drone, and he said he went out there, and the whales saw the drone, and they thought it was time to perform. So they started performing, doing tricks and flips and shit like that. The shit that they knew, because they hadn't seen anybody in so long. This is sad. So I don't know. This is the kind of shit where the U.S. should step in. Shit like this. Cruelty to animals, that's across the board a no-no. Especially if they're just sitting there. You're not, we eat animals every day. So if you're not eating it, you're probably beating it. And I'm talking about animals. If you just jumped into the show, I'm talking about animals. So that, I know countries eat dogs and shit like that. So that we're not talking about that. But if you're just letting these motherfuckers dry up in captivity with no sense, I know that once they get out into the real ocean, that they're done. They've been doing fucking tricks all their lives. A real fucking killer whale is going to be like, what the fuck you doing? I didn't tell you to do a spinning backflip, bitch. And now they're fighting. And it's probably going to die because all it knows how to do is fucking tricks. But, I don't know. It's in France. There's nothing I can do. I'm just making people aware that there's shitty motherfuckers all over the earth. So check this out. Thursday's late night episode of Jimmy Kimmel was unexpectedly canceled. Nobody knows why. It just said it was reportedly pulled over a personal matter. Nobody has addressed it. It says Kimmel nor ABC has addressed the reason behind the last minute change. And what they did was they just put on another episode, an older episode. I don't know what's going on, but if this is some more bullshit shenanigans from the president, I think that motherfucker has bigger fish to fry than a comedian who's been doing the same thing for years, and a comedian who didn't even say anything that crazy. I heard all kinds of other motherfucking things online, and nobody went after those people. It's bullies that'll pick on someone they think they can just pick on, that they think is weak, that they can set an example with. Jimmy Kimmel wasn't fucking with it. You don't hear Jimmy Kimmel, doing anything crazy. But now he's got an enemy in the fucking president. This is wild. So hopefully in a few weeks we'll figure out what happened, and it'll be some more petty shit, and I'll be like, ha, I knew it. Look, stop charging your phones at night. First of all, they say it's bad. You got all the Wi-Fi and the fucking antenna signals and all this shit beaming through the house while you're trying to sleep. Just woo, 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 woo. That's probably why I can't have any fucking dreams. And that's one of the reasons they say if you charge your phone at night, charge it in another room, not in the room you're sleeping. It disrupts your circadian rhythm. But another reason is, this is a second story where someone had a chain on their neck while they were sleeping and charging their phone, and the chain dangled in between the power cord and the plug, burned and electrocuted these people. And this was a little kid, a 9-year-old kid, all because of a fucking metal chain. First of all, I didn't think I didn't think it was a good idea ever to really wear chains to sleep. Like, you don't, anything could fucking happen while you're sleeping, and now you're sleeping, and now you're dead. So, first of all, I would have never, at least when I was growing up, I wasn't allowed to be wearing chains and shit while you're sleeping. No, fucking choke yourself to death. But now you got to worry about this. What if you're wearing something that's like a piece of rope, a piece of fabric that you have as a necklace, and it gets caught in between the prongs or near the prong, and that fucking bursts into flames? You have to worry about this. So that's why I saw this article and I was like, oh my goodness, this happened some time ago to another guy, like I think it was a Marine or someone in the military, because his dog tags got caught. Same way. This shit can happen. Freak accidents. That's what they're called. Look, I told you this already. I am a Commanders, excuse me, a Redskins fan. I'm going to stick with them because that was my grandparents' team. They're gone. I want to support the team that they liked. But listen to me. President Trump has made a joke about wanting, maybe not even a joke, but it's going to be perceived as a fucking joke, that he wants the Washington Commanders to name their $3.7 billion stadium after him. Let me tell you something. Grandma, Grandpa, if this son of a bitch gets the stadium named after him, I'm changing teams. Sorry. I will not be a part of that fuckery. No way. So we'll see. I definitely want to see how this plays out. Like, there's going to have to be, what is that? Change.org, when people write petitions in and sign their names. Yeah. This is something definitely to get ready for change.org. Like, no way. Then the tickets, dude, if he has his name attached to it, first of all, the tickets are going to triple in price for a shitty team. Like, nobody's going to want to go to that. Now, it might be a nice state-of-the-art fucking stadium, but nobody's going to want to go there if, and if they do, they might not be the best people. You might get the shitty people. You never know. I don't know. I don't want to continue to speculate, but we'll see. We'll see what happens in the next few months. Because shit's going to get wild. Trust me. To whoever continues to listen to every Wednesday, I told you that I was going to keep up with these stories when shit breaks. The one story where the 6-year-old student, this is from 2023, where the student shot the teacher. Well, guess what? That case is all wrapped up, and the teacher was awarded $10 million. Yeah. Yeah, that is awesome. I hope that takes care of their bills, gets them caught up back to where they need to be. Because just going to the hospital and buying two fucking, you go in for a fucking pink eye or some stupid shit, and they give you fucking like Tylenol 3, right? And they're like, here, it's $50. And you're like, oh, you only gave me 2 of them. That's the kind of shit that goes on. You're getting overcharged for some bullshit. Ridiculous. And listen, the weather is not cold enough because as I'm recording, I'm looking at my screen. Like, I'm looking around and I look at my screen and I'm like, Chuck, are you going crazy? I see something moving. It's a fucking stink bug. And now I'm looking all around because those things are resilient. But I'm going to tell you the trick. You get a glass jar and you fill it halfway with soapy water. It's something about the soapy water that does it. Someone said do a little water and alcohol, and the fumes from the alcohol, they'll just pass out right into the jar. But yeah, soapy water usually is if you can't reach it, I'm telling you, spray it with some of that shit. I'm telling you, it's like their kryptonite. But yeah, that kind of pissed me off. I was like, dude, I'm getting the house winterized, which means, just how I place things. Because I might move a table further away from a window during the summer because I know, bugs might get in the window. Whatever, dude. These motherfuckers are crazy. They're sneaky little bastards. So it could be a ladybug or something, dude. I told you all about the college ladybug story. But this is the news. We're not getting into that. This is the news. Let's get back into it. And after the teacher got awarded that money, I hope that they fired the other teachers that the students and everybody else was trying to warn them about. Like, hey, Mr. Jenkins, so-and-so has a gun. And they're like, get back to class, Bobby. You're always fucking lying. And, I don't know if it went like that, but nothing was done, and the teacher got shot. So all those teachers that were potentially told, like I'd interview all the students. Who'd you talk to? I told Mr. Jenkins. Well, Mr. Jenkins, you're fucking fired. And you're going to have to pay her fucking $200 a month out of your money because you're a piece of shit and didn't say anything. Dude, it feels like every week Georgia gets a spot on the news. This week, there was an altercation at a Walmart in Georgia, and one of the guys got stabbed and he died. It was all over. Someone hit someone's cart. And the guy that stabbed the young kid, because the guy that got stabbed, he was only 18 years old. And the guy that did the stabbing was previously incarcerated for stabbing someone else. The world is wild, man. You got to be careful. You got to just mind your business and keep to yourself, and just apologize. Fuck. Hey, I'm sorry, man. I'm just going about your day. Because a motherfucker will kill you over a fucking shopping cart. I don't know about you, but I don't want to fucking go out that way. Like, please, not like that. Motherfucker was 18 years old, just really starting his life, just figuring shit out, and was killed by a grown-ass man. Man. Someone will find him in jail and beat his ass and then, butt fuck him. So, fuck that guy. And see, with the government being shut down, it's going to really start shaking a lot of shit up. And this story isn't because of this, but, eventually shit's going to get crazy. This kid in Wisconsin, 22, lost his life. He would get his asthma medicine because he had severe asthma. He would get it from, they said, like $35 to $70, right? Then insurance wouldn't cover it. And then they told him that it was going to be $539.19. And guess what? He couldn't get it. So he got a lesser brand, and it didn't work as well as what he would normally get. And he used it all up, and he died, and that's what was next to him. His inhaler. The cheap inhaler that he got because his insurance wouldn't pay for the shit that was being paid for before. I love how Big Pharma can just play with us like this. That says that there is a person called a pharmacy benefit manager, and they decide what drugs your insurance will pay for. They don't pick the medicines based on what works best for patients. Instead, they choose drugs that give them the biggest payments from the drug companies. And just 3 of these companies control 80% of all prescriptions in America. I don't know. See, this is the kind of crazy shit. This is what was that? That Mangione. Luigi. That motherfucker, wasn't he he was trying to get medicine and they jacked the price up and he went out and took things into his own hands. Trying to help, I think it was his mother, something like that. Like, these motherfuckers already, these billionaires already have their money. At least give us 1 year where we can, get ourselves squared away, figured out, and not have to pay $300 for 2 pills and another $150 for the fucking visit. Like, this is getting out of control. So, we'll see. We'll see how this goes. I don't know what's going to happen, but I just hope it gets better because it just seems to be getting worse. All right, I'm going to get out of here. Get ready for work, the weekend, the rest of the month, the holidays, all that shit. It's time to get ready. It's time. So, thank you again for joining me on this news edition of Casually Uncomfortable. Don't forget Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, where you can check all the episodes out, full and clips. Casually Uncomfortable. Twitter at Casually Unchuck. Please, let your friends know. All right, have a wonderful weekend. Be safe. I'll see you tomorrow. My goodness. I'll see you next week. Don't be a piece of shit. Thanks. Bye-bye.